Hello and welcome to another edition of Newsmakers. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Today we'll be speaking to officials of the Caribbean Knowledge and Learning Network, the CKLN. It's an intergovernmental agency of the Caribbean community CARICOM, and its headquarters are in Grenada. We'll be speaking to the CEO, Mr. Ken Sylvester, and the chairperson of the board of directors, Dr. Camilla Roan. We have a very interesting session over the next hour, speaking to those two officials of the Caribbean Knowledge and Learning Network. So stay with us. We'll be speaking about the digital world and how the Caribbean is tapping into that sector. Okay, we're here with Mr. Ken Sylvester. He's the CEO of the Caribbean Knowledge and Learning Network, CKLN. Mr. Sylvester, welcome to our interview with you on this initiative.
Thank you.
Okay, first off, let's start from the beginning. What exactly is the Caribbean Knowledge and Learning Network?
The Caribbean Knowledge and Learning Network is an agent, intergovernmental agency of CARICOM. It was established by the heads of government of all CARICOM member states to do some very specific things. One, to work with the tertiary education sector to help build capacity in those sectors, in that sector, so that the tertiary education institutions can then use technology for developing courses and programs that can be delivered to Caribbean citizens at a distance, in fact, anywhere they may live. So that's the first objective. The second objective is to build a network, a knowledge network, that will connect all of these institutions, all of the tertiary institutions in the region, connect them to themselves, and then to connect these institutions to institutions globally, which would be institutions, universities in the United States, Europe, Asia, Latin America. In fact, the launch we did today was the launch of the network, which is now referred to as ribNET. And what ribNET is, it is really a regional, high-capacity fiber optic network that connects all CARICOM member states, that will allow us to collaborate as a region, help us work together, not only in the realms of education and so on, but also in areas such as health, to support telemedicine, in the areas of crime and security, supporting our activities there, disaster management, because these are all areas that CARICOM member states can benefit from in working in a collaborative manner instead of each country trying to solve their own problems. So that is it in a nutshell. It is to help us develop skills and competencies at the tertiary level so that we can give access and to build the regional network so we can give access to tertiary education to a much wider Caribbean citizenry.
So this was founded like in 2004, you would say, and there were special gaps that government and your organization saw that needed to be tapped into. That's why this organization was formed? Correct.
We did a survey, having established the organization in 2004, because remember, the strategic intent is that at the end of the day, the Caribbean economies must become more globally competitive. And the current world economy is an economy that's driven by knowledge and information. And the people participating in that economy, they must be knowledge-based. We did a survey and we found that in Latin America, the percentage of high school graduates having access to tertiary education was 23%. The The world's average is about 28%. In 2005, when we did this survey, the Caribbean average was less than 15%. Now this is quite startling,
Yes.
because if we have a lower knowledge base than our competitors, than our partners, it becomes very difficult for us to compete. So that is the gap. The gap is a knowledge-based gap to facilitate Caribbean people with skills and competence to be able to compete globally.
Okay, you talked about ribNET. Is that the network that will get CKLN that objective?
Amongst other things, it is the physical infrastructure that will connect the different institutions. Here is the problem we have. We are small island states, and in each island state we have very small colleges compared to the rest of the world. Outside of the University of the West Indies and maybe 2 other universities in the Caribbean, these national colleges just don't have the resources, both human resource capacity and the financial resources, to develop and deliver the range of courses that are necessary. So what do? We say, okay, if we can get these institutions working together, so if a college in St. Vincent was working collaboratively with a college in St. Lucia and one in Trinidad, and they come together and say, okay, we will develop online courses and programs, which is the content, in areas that are of interest for Caribbean development. And so we're not just interested in developing courses for its own sake. In fact, we did another survey which looked at what were the imperatives, what were the sectors of interest in the Caribbean. And we judged that we needed skills in the area of tourism, the area of financial services, in teachers training, and public administration. Yes, it's nice to have skills in other areas, but the 4 areas I've just mentioned, those are the developmental areas within the Caribbean. There are others like nurses, like nursing and so on. So what we lack is, these national colleges lack the ability to provide access to Caribbean students to courses of that nature. So what this network does, because it connects all of the institutions together, first of all, it allows them to work collaboratively in developing the content. But more importantly, a lecturer in TAMCC, which is the college in Grenada, doing a course on tourism development. Students in St. Vincent or Jamaica or anywhere in the region that's connected to that network, they can stay where they are and accept that course, receive that course, as though they were in St. George's.
I can see the benefit to the region, the regional institution, but some will say that internationally there are some international institutions already offering that. What's so different about CKLN and the ribNET?
Okay, what's so very different is this. Today, if a Caribbean person, if they wish to do a degree program online, and whether that's coming from the United States or from Europe, that costs a lot of money. And in fact, it's only a very small percentage of Caribbean people that can actually afford to pay the fees to do courses online. What is so special about ribNET and CKLN? We are developing our own regional capacity, right, to provide the courses and programs to our people. And we are doing it in a manner so that our people can access those courses and programs at a much, much reduced cost than they otherwise would have paid if the network was not there.
When we return, we speak with the chairperson of CKLN's Board of Directors, Dr. Carmela Rohn, on the social impact of such technology.